Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for Lexus IS 250, and it's the SE model. This car's only covered 32,000 miles, very low mileage car, beautiful condition. Finishing this glorious metallic red with the oak and beige leather interior. I believe it's oak and beige, so I stand corrected. The car's absolutely fabulous. Front of the car, wonderfully clean, lights, lenses clear and intact, front bumper very clean, no obvious marks on there that I can see. Bonnet itself hardly exhibits a stone chip anywhere, it is in beautiful condition on there. Coming down to the near side first, and it is pretty much mirror smooth on those panels, can't see any indentations at all. There's a real lustre to the paint, which unfortunately is a bit of a dull old warning. Probably won't pick up on the camera, but there we go. But it really is absolutely lovely. Looking around the back of the car, again, all very clean and tidy. Whereas the offside, driver's side, as with the near side, it is pretty much mirror smooth on those panels as well. Can't see anything in terms of indentations. For a car that's now close to 12 years old, regardless of mileage, and it really is in absolutely beautiful condition. In reality, the best bit's yet to come because the interior is even better, if that's believable. Coming to the boot area now, again, all wonderfully clean, big boots in these cars, and of course being a Lexus, it's absolutely beautifully finished in here as well. Underneath here you have a space saver spare wheel, you have a proper spare wheel, obviously tools all here present with the car. It's coming inside the car now, and it really is in just beautiful condition, but the leatherwork looks fantastic in these cars. And unfortunately, the video is not going to do it justice because it makes it look slightly duller than it actually is when you get here. So I thoroughly recommend coming to have a look because it really is beautiful. Front passenger door card here, as with all the others, is in just stunning condition, just looks like new. Well areas, obviously there's a full set of original matching Lexus mats in the car. The front passenger seat, which really doesn't look like it's had hardly any use at all. Finally, coming to the driver's door card, again absolutely clean as a whistle, no marks there at all. Footwell area is absolutely gloriously clean. Driver's seat, again in fantastic condition for a 12-year-old car. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dashboard looks pretty much as new, it's in beautiful condition in here. Sat nav, as you can see there, working absolutely perfectly. I'll pop the car into reverse. You get that lovely clear gridded parking camera. It really is superb in here. Obviously heated and cooled, electric seats, and just beautifully finished. I mean, Lexus do this absolutely superbly. Just put that back into park a second. And then to come across the main dashboard binnacle, you can see the engine is running with the rev counter up. Only the fuel light currently on, and 32,166 miles. Steering wheel pretty much looks as new in hand, but it really is a wonderful car in here, and one of the very finest on the market in my personal opinion. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack is here, and very importantly so are the locking wheel nut keys. So finally, just to come under this wonderfully presented engine bay by Lexus. Do an absolutely fantastic job of this, they really do. Absolutely beautiful V6 engine. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS 250 SE, obviously an automatic car. This particular car is registered LS07OKD, and mileage is just 32,160 miles. The reason we do the videos, as I say in all the videos, is basically just so that anyone that's looking at the car online and in an advert actually gets to see that very car in operation. You know, we're very well aware that, you know, a huge number of our customers travel, you know, massive distances to come and see our cars, you know, certainly all over Europe and the UK. So the least we can do is to go to time and effort to do this, because we know just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which whilst it looks great in the photographs and the description, quite often when you get there you find that it's got a fundamental problem which manifests itself whilst driving the car. And obviously you should be told about it, but let's be honest with you, not every single garage does. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads close to our premises, so hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive in the car. Clearly with such a low mileage you'd anticipate the car to drive well, and yeah, it certainly does, because it just feels absolutely as tight as a drum. It really does. Engine starts instantly, press of a button, settles to completely smooth and even idle. It's just been serviced. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Aside that is for a low fuel light currently on the vehicle, but obviously fuel in the tank will get rid of that. Temperature gauge running at just under a half, which is exactly where it should be on a Lexus car of this type. And the engine's been running for well over an hour now during the service itself. The engines are beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful. It is typical Lexus because it's jewel-like in its refinement. Just a wonderful piece of engineering. So smooth, so keen to rev without any kind of lumps in its power delivery. It's all there. It kind of surges towards the red line with enthusiasm and without kind of feeling strained in any way. And of course you get that lovely soundtrack from the V6 engine, but it's the perfect engine size for the car. And I've always said this about the Lexus, because too big an engine and obviously you're going to end up with a car that absolutely drinks fuel, and obviously very quick but antisocially in lots of ways. Too small an engine, the 2 litre would basically make it harder work to drive. It wouldn't be as relaxing, and also the fuel economy suffers when you put a smaller engine in a bigger car. It simply doesn't work quite as well. So this is a really nice engine size for the type and size of the car. So just pull out, get away from the car behind. Engine then feeds through into the Lexus gearbox. Wonderfully smooth shifting, of course you'd expect from any Lexus gearbox, and this is no different to any of them. Gear changes are all but imperceptible. They really are. You've also got the option, if you so wish, to change gear manually. Not that you really want to do that very often, and if I'm brutally honest with you, but the time you may want to do it, as I always say, is overtaking manoeuvres, because gearboxes haven't got eyes, or they're not reading your mind. They don't know what you're doing, and their natural inclination is to want to change up gear as early as possible, which could be quite interesting when you're halfway through an overtaking manoeuvre. So you can just tap the gear lever to the right. It selected me 4th gear because it's matching the speed I'm doing on the road. And you can either use a gear lever down here to pull back, and I'm back to 3rd there, and accelerate, change up to 4th, up to 5th, up to 6th, or you can use the paddles here and you pull back with the left hand one, up with the right hand one. So 4th gear, come back down to 3rd gear. So imagine I was overtaking now, foot down to zoom by something, change up with that one, and it'll only change when you want to change, so you're in total control on it, and it works really nicely. What is nice, these paddles here are shaped and feel nicely in your fingertips. Quite often they can feel really plasticky and cheap on some manufacturers, but this one just feels really classy, and all the gear changes, as I said, work a bit really slick and tight. Brakes on the car, just make sure no one's behind me at the moment, but give the brakes a good old shove. I'm not going to brake shove too hard because the brake pads on the front are actually quite new. I think they were an advisory on the last MOT, so I don't want to ruin them by braking too hard, but obviously it's a nice solid brake pedal. There's no vibrations or pulsing when you hit the brakes, and it pulls the car up nice and straight as well. Steering on the car, which I think they've just struck a really nice balance with this car, because it's rear wheel drive. The front wheels aren't polluted by drive shafts tugging away at it, so you get a really nice natural feel, but the weighting, the ratio of the steering is really nicely done. As I said, it's not as overtly sporting as something, let's say, like a BMW 3 Series, but it's more precise in my opinion than something like a C-Class Mercedes, or certainly an Audi A4, and the balance of the chassis is beautiful, because they've obviously gone for more for the comfort side of things. Because let's be honest with you, 90% of the time you are driving where you want comfort. There's only a sort of small amount of time where you might want to push on, but it does respond very nicely when you push on. It's very precise, very accurate. And as I said, it's weight distribution and the configuration of the power delivery makes for that, basically. And it's just a lovely setup. Power steering itself, steering is really solid. The track's absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations or any speed up to the legal limit. And the same with the chassis. There's no sort of nasty sort of clonks or bangs coming from underneath the car. When you hit a bump, you'll hear it hitting it, albeit rather subdued in the Lexus. But there's no sort of chatterings thereafter. Looking around inside, I mean, I love this interior. It's just beautifully done, beautifully made, of course, as you'd expect from Lexus. Dashboard is in really lovely condition. We've not cleaned it yet. It's exactly as it came to us. It's going off for a valet hopefully later this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning, but it's very, very clean in here. Obviously specified with the optional multimedia pack, so you've got this big screen sat-nav system. You get the Mark Levinson stereo, so if you like your music, you'll love the car, because its sound reproduction is absolutely superb on it. It really is. And also as part of that, you get the hands-free system for your phone as well. So it's a really nice and very sought-after setup. Obviously incorporated, as you already know, the reverse parking camera as well, which all works exactly as it should. But the dashboard, very, very high quality switchgear in here. Lexus do these things absolutely superbly well. You got heated and cooled seats, and again, been checked, work absolutely as they should. Had them on earlier, was trying them, and they're sort of both roasted and chilled exactly as I said the manufacturer intended. But it's just such a lovely car, and it's, you know, in this sector you've really only got, you know, if you want premium, you do tend to go for this, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, possibly Jaguar, but they're very troublesome by comparison. This is by far and away the most reliable and best built of any of those cars in normal use. It's just a simply wonderful, wonderful machine. And as I said at the start of the video, the point of it, as brief as it is literally just to show the car in operation, and it drives absolutely fantastically well. It really, really does. As always though, any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call and we'll happily answer any questions you might have.